should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Hello, welcome. You guys, welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I am Linda, that is Abby. We are covering all things 90 Day to Single Life, Season 5. We're finally caught up after this, episodes 13 and 14, as we hit the tell-all. And let me tell you, first of all, they're random for throwing in an extra hour. I plan my days. All of a sudden there's extra. Listen, y'all. Anyways, overall thoughts, Abby, of the last two episodes, 13 and 14. Just a general overview.
General overview is, I don't know why I was expecting any resolutions that I agreed with, but okay, whatever.
My overall thoughts were, there's a lot of forgiving type people, and I kept asking myself, am I the problem? Because I just absolutely would not do any of the things that I've been seeing. Hey, midwife K. So what to say something else, but hey,
yeah. I don't think you're the problem. I think the reason why perhaps they find themselves in these kind of situations is because they're forgiving. And it's not just the forgiving, but it's the forgiving and continued interaction. Like, you can forgive somebody and never speak to them again. That's okay. Not me, though. I hold grudges forever. I got grudges from 1986.
I'm a forgiving person. However, I just feel like I'm not a stupid person. Like, there's a lot of stupidity going on here. So let's start with some stupidity. We're starting with Colt. Colt's back in Orlando, you guys. He's been back for a couple of months, and he's gotten all of the surgeries he needed. He had 5 fractures and a broken femur, allegedly. But he can walk now. Now, I'm of the opinion that he could walk before. I'm of the opinion that he could absolutely walk, and he chose not to. And me seeing him in these last 2 episodes told me everything I needed to know about Colt. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Midwife says, me too, Scorpio here. We have beef forever.
Forever. Just like Cardi B said.
Facts. So he had to stay in Orlando for follow-up, all of that. So he's going to be there for a while. And the way he tells us, you guys, is that he met an older gentleman that allowed him to stay at his house. Now, I thought, where in the world does that happen? Where you land in a city that you don't know anybody, and some random old person says, yeah, come and stay with me for free.
Remember to Muhammad too. He met some guy at like Walmart or Lowe's and moved into his house.
Imagine my surprise. Where are these people and where are these homes? Obviously, I'm not walking down the right streets because that is incredible. But no, Philip is actually Courtney's new boyfriend. He's divorced, had a spare room. Courtney has been living with him. He's got 3 older kids, I believe. Divorced, spare room. 66 years old. 66 years old, you guys. And Courtney loves him, and they've been going on strong for like 3 months at this point. What were your thoughts, Abby, on the older boyfriend? And my question of the day is, would you date someone that's significantly older than you?
Okay, so for Courtney, I thought, fine. She just wants to be in a relationship, and he seems nice enough. So fine, like that's fine for her. Would I, if it was an Anna Nicole Smith situation, I will feed you your soup. I will change your diapers. Whatever you need, I'm on it. But just some regular 66-year-old man, no thank you. I'm not signing up to be your caretaker for nothing.
You know, I knew that was going to be your answer. For some wild reason, I knew that that's the direction you were going to go. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it. I'm on the fence. Like, how old is older? Like 66? It's like,
Well, I feel like as soon as you hit like mid 50s, it is not exactly the age. It's also like how well have you taken care of yourself? Because some 55 years old and 60-year early 60s, some of them are fine, but some of them have really run their bodies into the ground. Like
that's fair.
when I hit, let's say 42, 43, I noticed the men my age were starting to just fall apart. Their skin doesn't look good. They don't drink water. They don't eat vegetables. Like they just started like deteriorating. They look like they're decaying also. But the ones who actually like are taking care of themselves, they're doing okay. But there's more men who fail to take care of their bodies getting into these ages than women though.
That's true. Midwife says, yes, he's got to be rich too, because otherwise what's the point? And hey, Mia, yeah, I'm gonna sit on it. I'll get back to you guys. I think that it has to be mutually beneficial. I mean,
Exactly.
especially if you're giving up your youth, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to want the same things as that person, or else it's not going to work. So, anyways, I agree with you. This is perfect for Courtney. Courtney wants to be in a traditional type where she can be the caregiver. Like she was already the caregiver for Colt, but she was getting nothing out of it, like literally nothing out of it. He was sponging off of her and leeching off of her and all of those things. So this is a way better situation. It does seem like Philip is a man of means. And so what did she say? Wait, you need to read my comment before. So yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it for them. And let me know if you're for it for yourself, you guys. So it's a weird little three-way situation going on at the house there. Courtney and Philip are going to have a date night. And you know that Colt had the audacity to try to invite himself on this date night? The audacity. I just can't, you guys, I just don't get Courtney at this point. Like at this point in this episode, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. And I was going to ask, for those of you, I didn't watch something wherever it was that Courtney and Colt first met. I didn't watch that, whatever that is. She keeps saying she feels responsible for him. Did she trip him and he fell and that's how he broke his leg in the first place? Like, why does she feel responsible for him, for those of you who watched that season?
Yeah, it's not the last resort. It was like this, you know, when they all went to the island and Soldier Boy was there. I can't remember that spinoff, but that's where they met and he fell for a second time there. Like he's always falling and breaking his legs. And I have a theory on that too, but I will.
It's because he's lazy. Is that your theory?
He's 100% lazy, so he's not used to walking. So anytime there's an activity, he's falling over. Just go for a walk, guy. Do some things. Have some activity. This lying around and like lifting up your leg like you're a ballerina is wild to me. And the fact that you also think it's okay to wear Speedos anywhere you go is so. Courtney and Philip met at a bar. They've been dating for months. And here's where I think also when you date older, there's a shorter timeline for like the courtship, I think, because they've been dating 3 months and they already live together. And then we find out by the next episode that there were some other major steps that happen. And it's just like boom, 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 boom. And I thought about it, I was like, that's really, really quick. But then I thought about, well, I guess when you're older, like there's no time to waste, right? You're already on the downhill slope. So you want to enjoy every single moment.
Yeah, there's no time to waste. And then he said the magic words. She enjoys being spoiled. I enjoy spoiling. Like, they connect. They're in alignment on this. So why not go ahead and do whatever that you want to do?
100%. So Colt, who does not live in this house, he's not a roommate. He's a guest that has already overstayed his welcome, says that he's lonely sometimes and wants to get a cat. Okay, first of all, you guys know how I feel about cats. Second of all, you are not about to bring up a cat in a house that you don't even live in. Third of all, Courtney is allergic to cats, but because Colt doesn't care about her in any shape, way, or form, he didn't even think twice about it. But the fact that he felt comfortable enough, you guys, to say, hey, I want to get a cat. You want to get a cat in a house you don't live in? Absolutely not. That would have been my last straw. That would have been my last straw. Actually, there would have been no straws. Hypothetically, because I would absolutely not be in this situation. And I'm going to tell you why. There is no way, shape, or form that you have sponged off of me, lived off of me for free. I was your nurse. I wiped your butt. I shaved you. I bathed you. I fed you. My mama did the laundry. My mama did the groceries. And you sat up in a room for free for months. All the meanwhile, you're cheating with some other girl. You're sending her inappropriate pictures. And then when you get caught and lying to my face, then when you get caught, where do you go? You go to that girl. The only reason you come back is because you got to fix your decrepit leg. But then I offer you to come live with me and my new boyfriend. This is why I'm like, am I crazy? Am I like cold-hearted? Because absolutely there is no world where Linda Anthony would allow that type of nonsense in my house.
So I have a question for you. This is a scenario that I've seen about, community on Threads. There are two siblings. One sibling has 4 kids and is about to have a 5th kid. And they asked their other sibling if they could keep the 4 kids for 2 days while they go to the hospital to have the 5th kid, and no, they're not offering to pay any money. So do you do it or not?
Is that your full blood sibling?
Yes.
Absolutely, you do it.
Okay. So the conversation on Threads has been like, are you really a part of your community? And what do you think about family? Because there were a lot of people who said no.
Oh, I don't know.
There were a lot of people who said no. And I was just looking at the question like, I don't even think my sisters would have to ask me.
That's the thing. Listen, my brother has a bunch of babies, and it's not even it's a hey, you're picking up the kids. Oh, I am? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, would you mind, like, it's not even I don't know how y'all do it. Africans, absolutely not. Those kids are your kids. They're the family's kids.
Right. Yes, they belong to the whole family.
That's it. The kids belong to the whole family.
But this situation is completely different. Colt is not related to us. He's already betrayed us. So no, we're not going to extend any courtesy to him. And I would be remiss if I didn't say Phil is playing a dangerous game here. Because when you let somebody live in your house and get mail at your house, you are potentially creating a situation where they're going to be allowed to squat in your house. That's
happened to me before, you guys. Oh, I ended up moving because I couldn't take it. This girl from my church, so you would think that she was a good little Christian girl, was squatting and she would not leave. And she was not paying rent. And I was doing it out of the goodness of my heart. And finally, I had to just leave. I had to leave. Hey, Raydella, hey. So Philip is kind of done with it though, right? Like he's like, I appeased my girlfriend, my new girlfriend, because I just, when you're in that new phase, right? but he wants Colt out because they really don't have any privacy. And again, it couldn't be me. He says they can't even sit in his own living room because Colt's bedroom is right by there and they have no privacy. When I come home, I need to be comfortable. I need to be able to do whatever I want.
Absolutely not. I step in every single corner of my apartment. I'm trying to get my rent's worth. I stomp my feet in every single, like under the oven, under the sink, everything.
So Phil's at a point where he feels Colt has overstayed. Okay, he's overstayed, and Courtney knows it's now causing issues in her relationship because there's jealousy and some trust issues there. Again, I was like, do I have a cold dead heart? Because I would not allow it to get to. First of all, it would just never happen. But had I had a momentary lapse in judgment, and it started affecting my new happy relationship that is providing for me, it is spoiling me. This slob, are you guys like, why? I just don't get it. Why are you responsible for this grown-ass man? And to piggyback of what Abby just said, he's not a child. So this is not a community. He is an adult that's supposed to be contributing to the community. So for the relationship to survive, Colt needs to get out. And I would say get the F out. And he should have been out a long time ago because he can walk now. Because what does he even do? What can you imagine being a grown man, having another grown man take care of you, having another grown man take your plate and put it in the dishwasher because you're that lazy? So you don't even, and you're a house guest. I don't know about you, Abby, but house guests in African families, you're not going to not someone's house and just sit around. Like, you're going to make the bed, you're going to offer to clean up, you're going to do dishes, but however you can contribute because they open their house to you. And then on the flip side, as a host, you're going to be like, no, I got it. But at least the person offered because you know what? That's proper etiquette. But this fool, he just his own mama doesn't want him. His own mama doesn't want him to come to Canada because she's like, you're not about to wreck my happy life.
I do wonder what it's like sometimes because I am so not wanting to impose on people that I will forego help from people that I know would readily offer it. So I do wonder what is it like to be someone who's okay with letting other people do everything for you? Like what is it like mentally? Like, I borrowed $20 for somebody when I was in college, and I still think I gave her the money back, but I still think about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm so not, I cannot let somebody take care of me without feeling weird about it or feeling like I have to repay it, in the future. So this is just so beyond me.
I just think Colt is lazy, period, full stop. He never grew up. He never became a man. He's just a big baby in an adult body. And even that is questionable. So Colt's in Phil's backyard, kicking it full side in his Speedos, you guys. And I wanted to take a screenshot and show you, but the last time I showed you guys Colt in Speedos, YouTube flagged it as if I was trying to do something. So I'm not about to have that conversation again because basically YouTube's like, I don't want to see this. And I know that y'all don't want to see it. So we're not showing it. But I want you to picture Colt in a Speedo, his leg up like a ballerina, sitting on your lawn chair, doing nothing. So Courtney and Phil have decided that they're going to confront him and he needs to get out. Now, this is the part that I had a little chuckle, you guys. I chuckled and chuckled and chuckled because while he's stretching his leg, Courtney's bringing snacks out, feels like ready to have the conversation, and he gets right into it. He's like, so now that you can walk, what plans have you made? Because it's time for you to move on. And
Mhm.
Colt's like, oh, it's time for that conversation. Yeah, fool. You thought that you were going to squat here forever? Because he would, if they didn't have this conversation, he would have stayed for as long as he stayed.
Oh, he was trying to get a cat. He was
That's
trying. Like, it's like the person who walks into a meeting asking for a raise, and they're like, "No, we're firing you."
yeah, exactly. So you need to get out. And then Courtney takes it back a bit, which was like puzzling to me. She's like, well, you know, you need to start figuring out what you're doing. And then Phil jumps in and says, yeah, within the next couple of days. Like, there is no room for this fool for you to tell him to start thinking about it, because 6 months later, he's going to be like, oh, I hadn't started thinking about it. Phil's like, this is my house. You're 2 days. You got 2 days to figure it out, and then you're bouncing.
Mhm.
And I was proud of Courtney for this, because she said, you know, once you're out, once you move out, we're done. Communication's off. I'm not going to be talking to you anymore, because I need to give this relationship a chance. I need to give this relationship all of my attention. And I'm adding, me, Linda, I'm adding, plus you're a leech and you're sucking the life out of Courtney. You're sucking the beauty out of Courtney. And Courtney must be like so nice that she just continues to give, to give, to give, to give to you, even though her mind is telling her that you're a terrible individual. You're elite, you're a mooch, and you're lazy, and you're a liar, and you're a cheater. Her mind knows that, but unlike like me, I'm gonna just absolutely not. But she's like, no, I'll take care. Like, no, I don't know how she coordinates that, but here we are. So Colt is shocked that he has to move. He's shocked, you guys. He's shocked that he has to move out. And then said to Courtney, oh, you know, you were my original ride or die. And I was like, what he's shocked about is that he thought she would never stand up to him. He thought that she was so nice that he was going to be able to take advantage for much longer. And she knows this, because she says he's a leech and would have taken advantage of me forever. So do you see how Abby, her mind knows, but
Mhm.
she still allows it. Thank God for Phil, who says,
Mhm.
hey, absolutely, you're out of here. You got 2 days, pack it up and get out.
Right.
So here's the thing that I choked on my disgust, because the producer says, what's next for you? He says he's going to probably go back to Brazil and try to get back with Diana, who he also cheated on, right? Because he's playing Diana and Courtney. And when the producer said, you're going to go back to Brazil to be with Diana, and he says, yes, I'm going to see if I can have a relationship. He's going to see if he can be honest and truthful for once. Do you know that this fool said he's not sure if he can? Abby, he said he's not sure if he can. This is why I'm telling you guys, everything I need to know about Colt is right here. He knows he's a liar and a cheater and a lazy bum, all of the things, but he doesn't care. And for the simple fact saying he's not sure, you know he's going to put 0.0 effort into it, Abby. 0.0 effort. Karaoke Cindy says the manipulation is strong. Listen, that's the one quality that Colt has. He knows how to manipulate a situation. He knows how to manipulate people. And unfortunate. I still don't get it, and none of you have explained it to me how he's even able to be with these beautiful, strong women. I just don't get it. And it's not, and I keep telling you guys, it's not anything down south, because my pinky finger, I don't know if you were here, Abby. Did I show you the example I gave of what was it more realistic?
But go ahead and do it for all the newcomers and the replay gang. Yes.
See this? See this? This is accurate. Do you see that this is my earphone? Do you see this right here? This is I am not, you can ask Raydella, midwife Crystal, any of my women, they will vouch that this is not by scale. This is accurate. And you see how with cameras it's manipulation. Like this looks, oh, okay, that looks pretty, sizable. But like when you put it to frame, accurate.
And then you got to dig for it too.
So Colts out. That's it. And now it's been months along, and we learn a little bit about Courtney and Phil's backstory. And so she has a local bar that she normally goes to. She was at the bar and he saw her one night, but he was too shy to talk to her. And so when she left, he went up to the bartender and asked about her. And the bartender said, oh, she's a regular. She comes every Friday. You guys, he showed up there every Friday for 6 months before he ran into her again. And I just thought that was an adorable story. Now, it could be like borderline stalkerish, but I felt like, he thought he found his person and he pursued it. What were your thoughts, Abby?
I thought it was okay because it's a neighborhood bar. Like maybe it's also his neighborhood bar or very close to where he lives, as opposed to him asking her name, finding out where her parents are or where she works, then going to that place. Like that would feel more stalkerish to me than just being at a place where he knows that she might show up again.
Yeah, it was adorable. And I like the effort. That's high effort. And anything is higher than Colt.
Yeah, Colt has done nothing to improve her life whatsoever. Not one single solitary action that he's taken has improved her life to any degree.
No, he just kept dragging her down. Down and down and down and down. So Colt's out of the house at this point. She's blocked him, doesn't know where he is, doesn't care where he is. And sayonara, adios. I was going to go on, but I was like, Linda, you're getting a little extra with it now.
Go ahead. Arrivederci.
Yeah, all of it. Au revoir. Courtney was really happy with Phil. So some of the things that she shares with us is that their intimacy is amazing. He's active. He has energy. And they are now on their 3-month date night anniversary. So they go out for drinks and some tapas and having a good old time. And they're just chit-chatting. She loves her I can never say the charcuterie board.
Charcuterie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he loves oysters. And I just thought that said a lot about their personalities. But I love both of those things. I love all of those things. And so he's like, oh, have you ever had oysters? And she's like, oh, no, I'm allergic to seafood. And then he realized, oh, there's some things I don't know about you still. And she's like, yeah, there's some things I was surprised about you. Like when I saw your ID, she was surprised how old he was and said it to his face. And so the other thing that she was surprised with, and you guys, I was surprised, and I don't know how y'all do it because, like, I don't drink soda, but 12 sodas a day? Isn't that a little, like, too much sugar?
That is a lot of sugar. I did a summer program one time and lived with a lady who drank 12 Pepsis every day. Her garage was cases and cases of Pepsi. I could not believe such a thing.
You know who's like
your blood's just pure sugar?
You know who's like that too? Angela.
Oh, I believe it.
She has a whole fridge of just Coca-Cola.
I believe it. That lady looks like she's never seen a vegetable in her life.
Yeah. Ugh. So intimacy is great. All of the things. And then Phil says, you know, now that Colt is finally out of our lives, I really feel like we need to go to the next level. He says, I love you. I want to be with you forever. And when I say this guy popped up, the 3-month mark, pulled out a box, and it was a ring, and that ring was gorgeous. Proposed, she said yes. She is now engaged. And I want to show you their engagement, official engagement photos. Congratulations, Courtney and Phil. And the ring. Love it. I love this for her. Mm-hmm. Abby, thoughts?
I mean, that's what she wants. That's what she wants. She wanted to be married. She wanted to feel, you know, doted upon. So good for her for getting what she's been wanting all these years.
And she deserves it, you guys. She has had terrible, terrible, terrible relationships. She's and the men that has come into her life have been trash. And she even started crying at the table. She's like, you know, I waited so long to meet a good man, to find my person. She was worried that she was not going to find her person ever in her life. And I dare say, as soon as she dropped the worst of the worst, when she dropped Cole, the whole world opened up for her. Yeah. And I believe that sometimes, I'm going to say God, and you can say whatever you believe, but sometimes God is waiting for you to drop the dead weight in order to replace it with something more spectacular. Drop the dead weight so that you make room for your blessing. Because let me tell you something. Being someone's nurse that you are supposed to be in a relationship with, unless like that's like your person and you know what I mean, there's something going on. I don't like, he's able-bodied. He's just lazy. I don't get it. I don't.
I mean, there's a Southern saying that you have to get out of your own way. Maybe it's not Southern, but I mean, I've always heard it when I was growing up. Get out of your own way. That sometimes you are the source of your own problems. And once you get out of your own way, you make room for better things to be in your life.
Agreed. Moving on, unless you want to add something else.
No, let's go. I'm so excited. Who are we doing next?
We are on Kimberly, yes, Jamal, and Wayne.
That's who I have next in my notes too. And I'm very excited to talk about this because I have so many feelings and opinions and thoughts, and let's go.
All right. So Kimberly and Jamal are still in England, and she's just had a great first date. I love that for her because she too has dated men that have not been great, and I dare say just trash.
Yeah, complete more trash than we thought, because everything that happens, she says, I never had a man do X for me. For every little small thing that happens, I never had a man do X. You've never had a man do anything for you based on what you're saying. Okay, sorry, I'm getting carried away. This is a good segment for me. Let's go. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I'm so happy for her, because she deserves to, like, the bare minimum, and she's so grateful. And I'm like, you've never car door is the bare minimum. What do you? Okay.
Planning a date is the bare minimum.
Yes. But you're gonna open the doors. Like
Yes.
what kind of cockamamie nonsense? Okay. So, I think you guys know me by now. I can feel it, and I know you can feel when I'm about to have my TED talk, and then I pause and I evaluate if I'm going to go there or if I'm going to stay on track, and I'm going to stay on
Right.
track.
Let's add some facts before you go into it, because I want you to go into it, but let's just add some more facts, because there's some people who actually don't watch the show, they just watch us.
Yeah. So they need the backstory.
Right.
So good vibes, good date with Wayne. She felt, and these words are important, felt natural and it felt safe. Those are important words to hold on to. So it's the next day. Her son Jamal is going to be meeting Wayne, and they had an interesting second date. He took them to a blacksmith shop, and I thought it was kind of cool. Like, I'd be into it. And so they go, it's the ovens, the tools, and the banging and and they were supposed to be making coat hooks. When I say none of them had any type of towel. Okay. So it's the steel flats, you stick them in the fire, and then you pound, 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 pound. You're supposed to make these beautiful, curved coat hooks. Jamal is terrible. Jamal, I was like, does he, I don't want to put something on someone, but like a little bit of like ADHD, like if it's not holding his attention, he's like checked out. Because Jamal had one piece, he sharpened it, and then he just stood there like he was
he
was
didn't
dead.
put any effort into it.
And then said,
those situations where if you're not comfortable in temperature, you're not motivated to do whatever you want the activity is. So he's like, I'm cold, I'm not interested in doing anything except for leaving.
Well, he said he was bored. He's like, I'm bored. Yeah, he's bored. And so that's why I just think it's like, if it's not like stimulating him, he's just like, and he literally checked out. He just stood there. And I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen that before. And my note says none of them completed. Even Wayne, who looked like he was getting it together, he just got one little side hook done. And so between his side hook and Kimberly's side hook, and I guess Jamal's straight piece, I guess they could have welded that together and something, but that's not what they did, you guys. It was terrible. So they ended that, and then we find out that they're going to go to the pub later for some pints. And Jamal and Kimberly are going to be there, and Wayne is going to introduce Kimberly to his two daughters. Now, the thing I think was interesting, you guys, is because yes, it's long distance, and so there's a shorter amount of time, so everything gets sped up a little bit. But I thought it's so fast to bring in the family, in my opinion. And I know Jamal was there, but Jamal was there more like a safety. My mom picks terrible guys. I want to make sure, this guy's not a tool, But for Wayne to say, hey, this is my love interest. I don't know. What were your thoughts, Abby? Because I thought it was quick.
So my thoughts were that if these were young children, that it would be way too early to be exposing them to the person that you're considering dating, because they haven't even agreed to be in an exclusive relationship yet. But I think because they're older and because their parents seem to acknowledge that they have some deficiencies, that they're looking at their children as partners, like as adults, rather than these are my children. These are adult friends who can also offer me an opinion and insight into what do they see about this person. That's how it felt to me. Not like I'm introducing you to your stepmother or who could possibly be your stepmother. It was like, no, here's a lady I'm interested in. Get to know her. Tell me what you think about her.
Fair. That's a really good point. Cherokee says he seems like such a great guy, but I don't think he's into her. I'm going to pause on my thoughts for that for a second. So they're going to the pub. Jamal likes Wayne, thinks that Wayne gives good vibes. I think the same thing. He does give good vibes. I like that he can communicate. I like that he uses his words and expresses exactly where he is in the moment. And so on the car ride home from the blacksmith, before they get to the pub, Jamal says, listen, we're meeting his daughters and all that stuff. And if they ask me any questions, I'm not going to lie. And he's specifically referring to the truth about his siblings, that he is not the only child that Kimberly has. And then Kimberly got super defensive and she got upset and she's like, Jamal, it's not something you could say over the phone. I need to tell him in person. And then Jamal got upset and said, this is all on you. You're the one that had the kids and it's not new. You guys have been talking, FaceTiming for like 3 months before we even got here. So this could have come up at any time. What I'm saying is that I'm not going to lie. And you guys, I have to say, so Jamal said you should already told him. And I have to say, I agree with Jamal in this moment because first of all, he's your child. Even though he's an adult, he's still your child. And you put this whole thing in his life that he has to sort through still and has been sorting through. And this lie by omission, that's your lie by omission. He doesn't have to carry that burden for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I salute him for saying, hey, listen, I'm not going to lie for you because I'm not going to be a liar in this moment. I'm going to tell my truth. And if my truth includes your lie, that's on you. What were your thoughts about it? I know you had some thoughts about it before.
Yeah, I did. I feel the same way. I feel it even more deeply that it's not just he doesn't have to lie, but he spent several years being her secret keeper because he found out about the one child several years ago. And he's only, more recently found out about the son, the brother. Imagine the weight of him as a child being forced to be her secret keeper for years and years and years because she's not ready to confront this truth. And now he's at a point where he's just like, I'm not doing it anymore. You're not making this my responsibility. It's your life. It was your choices. You deal with it. I'm not taking this on as my responsibility anymore. And I feel so sorry for all the years that he's dealt with burying that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like it's all coming out. I know there's a lot of people who have watched the show and they feel like he's being very hard on her and very mean to her. And I just really think that they don't understand what it's like to be a child who's made to bear a secret for your parent.
Mm. I mean, yeah, I just think that he had a right to say, I'm not going to lie for you.
Right. He did. And it was her job. If you don't, and I don't believe that whole like, oh, I couldn't say it over the phone. I have to say it to your face. I don't believe that either. People use that as an excuse to keep information from people all the time. It's not right. It's not right. You need to tell people things in the course of the conversation or learn how to say this. I have one child that I raised, but there's more than I need to say to you about that, or the topic is actually not that simple. Learn how to let people know that there's more information coming. Don't just be like, oh, I had to wait till I was in your face to let you know. And then, some devastating information, come out. And I really hate that. A lot of people believe that premise of, oh, I'm going to wait and tell them until we're in person because I can't say it over the phone. No.
I mean, she had a lot of opportunities to tell him, and I'm going to point out another opportunity that I thought she should have taken that she didn't. But so they get to the Grapes pub, and before they go inside the pub, Kimberly realizes that she had an attitude in the car and she should have not been defensive towards Jamal. And so she apologizes to him. And
did you, Linda, feel like this was really an apology?
I did.
I didn't think it was, because she said, I'm sorry. but I get defensive and I can't help that. You're an adult. You're in charge of your emotions and your feelings, and you can help that. If you chose to, you can. But instead, you choose to put it on your son, and now you want to give him this quick apology in hopes that it'll change how he reacts, any questions that might come up when you go inside the pub. It was self-serving.
Interesting. Okay. That's I can see what you're saying. So Jamal just wants to make sure that Kimberly doesn't make the same mistakes that she has in the past in relationships, and he doesn't want her to rush into anything because of her mistakes. Now they meet up with Wayne, and Wayne is in the same mindset, and here's where I feel it was a missed opportunity for a conversation that could have been had in the moment where all the players are involved. So Wayne explains he too doesn't want to rush into things because at the age of 20, he got a woman pregnant. He figured because he got her pregnant that he had to marry her. So he married her. They were together for 14 years, right? Because he felt that his children needed a mom and a dad, the full family, mother figure and a father figure, he said. But they got married for the kids. So they started drifting apart. They started, not wanting to be in each other's presence. So they parted ways. But they kept the family unit, he said, together, which I interpreted as meaning they co-parented. Because Wayne believes every child needs a father and a mother figure. Now here, first of all, that just seems totally set up to me, right? Like you just randomly started talking about this, but here was the opportunity for Kimberly to say, well, let me tell you about my family situation and what's going on with me. But instead she said, I have a story to tell you, but I'm going to tell you tomorrow in private. And my note literally says, why are we waiting till tomorrow? Sometimes if you're actually communicating in that moment, that's where you should have shared it. Because when you take it to a separate, you ever had this, Abby, where someone's like, hey, I need to talk to you. We need to talk. You're already making it a bigger deal. So why does it have to be private? And what is it that you're going to tell him that you can't say in front of Jamal, who already knows the whole story?
Right. And there was an easy segue there. The segue being, I also, really want children to have an opportunity to have a mom and a dad. And that's, part of what led to my decision to put 2 children that I had up for adoption. And I do want to talk to you more about that, tomorrow, but, we're aligned on that. We're agreed on that. Like it doesn't have to be as big of a deal as she's making it.
Mm-hmm. But I think that she's still making it a big deal because I don't think she's truly come to terms with it. And I'm going to explain to you why I think that. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but when she finally does tell Larry, that does have that conversation, and we'll get to it shortly, she says that her son found her through a DNA test, right? DNA testing, one of those 23andMe or whatever it is sites. So the way she said that, it's like, had he not found you, you would not have done anything about it.
Correct.
So I thought that was really, really interesting because, words are important here.
Correct.
So Wayne's daughters, Aisha and Natalie, show up and they go to play Skittles, which looks so fun. It's 3 wooden balls and pins, kind of like bowling, but it's like bowling and lacrosse without the stick, kind of. You got to throw the ball and you got to hit the first pin. Anyways, it's fantastic. A good little interactive thing for you guys to do at the pub. So they're having a good time. Kim really is enjoying Wayne, and everyone seems to be getting along just fine. And then they sit down and they have some pints and they have some discussion. And the daughters ask, what made you come to meet my dad? It was weird to them because they would never have considered leaving England to go to America to meet random person that they met online. And they ask, how did you meet? And so here's the other thing. Question number 2 of the day. Because if you know me, you know where I stand with this. But Kim said that Wayne showed up in it somewhere on her social media. She liked how he looked. So she slid into his DMs, and that's how they started talking. Kimberly slid into his DMs. And so my question of the day, girls, ladies, females, do you slide into men's DMs? Like, do you make that first move and slide into men's DMs? Or, whoever your partners, whoever you're attracted to, do you slide into that person's DMs? Abby?
Absolutely not. The way she explained it before was that he left a comment or something and she responded to it. And that made more sense to me. But the idea of messaging a man on social media as a potential date or love interest, that makes me feel ill. I feel sick to my stomach. The thought of reaching out to a man.
Abby, oh wow. Yeah, I'm not sliding into anyone's DMs. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. I think I'm just old school. If you like me, pursue me, court me, do all the things. Yeah. What I'm not about to do is slide into your DMs, because, like, for what? So the daughters next ask, do you normally move fast in relationships? And Kimberly, I don't know who you told the daughters and us who have been following you for how long? She said no. And I don't know about that. And I started laughing. Who are you talking to that you don't normally move fast? You absolutely move fast. And then Jamal starts spilling the tea a little bit. Not only does she move fast in relationships, her previous boyfriend was 20 years younger than her. So those are like kind of her red flags. Mm-hmm. Kimberly asked the daughters, what are some of Wayne's red flags? And the first thing they said was that he morphs into the other person. And the example they gave was a previous relationship he was in. That woman was a vegetarian and he became a vegetarian. And so he kind of loses himself in the people that he's dating, which he gave an example of in this episode, by the way, you guys, if you catch it in the end, already morphing after a week. And I'll show you where. And then the second thing that they said is a red flag for him is that he doesn't like baggage. So he doesn't like his partners to come in with baggage. And his daughters are like, that's not even reasonable because we're adults. So everyone's going to have baggage. And so those were the things. What did you think of those two ideas?
First of all, I love these kids exposing them. I feel like it is an indicator of such a good relationship when your kids can say these kind of things in front of you and that they know you, that they watch you, that they know your patterns. And I thought that they've probably given him this advice previously, on their own, that he's, needs to tighten up on some of these things. But I don't see them actually as huge red flags. I would have some follow-up questions, like on the baggage issue. I would say, is it more about how they respond to when they're being triggered, or how they react to their traumas, or how it plays out in the relationship? Or is it you just don't want anybody to ever be able to talk to you about their past at all? You know, and I would just have that kind of follow-up question, because everybody's going to have issues going on.
Yeah.
But I just don't want, if you're my partner, I don't want to be the person that you're exercising those issues on to. I want you to be able to recognize when something is coming up in yourself that you need to deal with.
Agreed. So things went well with the daughters, and they had a great time. The night ended. They went their separate ways. And then the following day, Kimberly and Wayne had a one-on-one date. He was making dinner for her. And so he picks her up to bring her to his house. And she's worried that he's not going to accept her because of all of her baggage. Now, one of the interesting thing is she held on to that because the daughter said it, but he actually never said that. Like, she didn't hear that out of his mouth. It's their impression of how they view some of the things that they consider red flags in their father. But she held on to that. And it's important for you because later on in this episode, she brings it up. They get in the house, and I just thought, I don't know about you all, but again, I might be the one that I just think differently. But if I come to your house and you have a picture of me, you have a drawn picture of a picture I sent you in a frame in the house, I'm gonna, it's gonna be a little weird to me. It's gonna be a little weird.
I thought it was weird until I realized that it was a gift. It wasn't like he put it there to keep it there. When he was like, oh no, it's for you. A friend of mine drew it. It's for you to take. I was like, oh, okay. That's fine.
And I agree. That's great. But it was literally up in the house. Like, if it's a gift, like, it should be, you know, wrapped as a gift, set aside as a gift, in a bag as a gift. I don't know. But up, yeah. Very Silence of the Lambs, but it was a gift and it was very sweet. Kimberly didn't like it because she felt it portrayed her looking older than she sees herself, because you know that's something else, right? Like how you see yourself and how someone else sees you can sometimes be totally different.
Yeah, she was like, they didn't put the filter on.
Now, y'all, you know, I'm a bit of a foodie, and you know, I love to cook. Used to have all the great dinner parties over at the Ponderosa. So I love this idea of the Jamaican chicken and rice. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something, and I'm not trying to be mean, but you know, I've been to England a few times, and they're not known for the cuisine, and everything is, and dear Olivia, when you're watching this, please vouch for me. Everything is a shade of gray or a shade of brown. All the food. So, I mean, I saw him spicing it up and stuff, and he's like, I'm not going to make it too spicy. First of all, absolutely, that was not enough spice, but I get it. Maybe you guys have some dietary restrictions. You're not going to make it too spicy. I get it. But have you had Jamaican chicken? Have you had jerk chicken, you guys? Have you had with rice and beans? It just is not one shade of brown or gray. It's just not. That's all I'm going to say. But for some reason, England has that ability to just make everything one shade of gray or one shade of brown.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I watch all these people go and get like takeaway in England, and they post it on their TikToks, and it's all just the same color, and then they add the gravy, and it's just sad.
I know, like there's you just need a splash of color. Like how do you have a red pepper and your red pepper looks brown in your food? I'm trying to figure it out.
how he was married for 14 years and he said that he never cooked for anybody.
I mean, that was a whole conversation I was not prepared to have. I was not prepared to have. I was like, I'm just going to keep it pushing.
I don't think your mom wants anybody to tell them that that's her recipe.
I don't think it is really your mom's recipe.
I don't think that. If my numbers are correct and his mom is a Windrush Jamaican, she don't want nobody to know that you're telling them that that's her chicken.
No, and she's gonna call him and say, "How dare you say that that is what I showed you to make?" So Kimberly's excited to talk about two things: the relationship status and the children that she gave away for adoption. So they sit down while the food is cooking to have this conversation, and y'all just all of you guys, Liz and Vanya, all of you guys with the sit downs and the sit downs and the sit downs, like after a week, you're having, I just can't. I'm going to tell you what, like, it's been a week. It's been a week, but let's do it. So I know it's a long distance relationship. Are you willing to give it a try? You know, are you my boyfriend now? And he says, you know, he's fine with what we're doing now. It's working. And he gave me Tony vibes in this, where here's the thing. You are standing up to who you are. And I respect the fact that you're saying, hey, you're not going to pressure me into a relationship. He's like, you know, I don't like pressure. It's relationships scare me. He says, I've been on my own for a while and I enjoy it. So I don't want the pressure of, you know, saying we're this or saying we're that. That's literally what he said. And I want you guys to know that when men tell you who they are, believe them the first time. If he's saying, I'm not ready for a relationship, and then you then say, well, are you my boyfriend now? He's saying, no, I'm not ready for a relationship. Believe him. You're not going to change his mind tomorrow. You're not going to change his mind in a month. This is the mindset I'm in. I'm not ready for a relationship right now. Great. You can decide if you want to move forward with that or not, but believe what they're saying. So Kimberly's like, okay, that's fine. We can see what happens. You know, I really have a connection with you and I really like you. And so we can just, you know, kind of go with the flow. I didn't believe that for 1 minute. I think that you're looking for a relationship, and that's why you said, are you my boyfriend now?
Correct. And that is okay. If somebody says to you, oh, I'm, you know, don't want to be rushed, non-committal, it's okay for you to then say, oh, okay, so we're not on the same page. So that's cool. You know, it'll be nice to just, you know, have this meal together and have a chat here and there, but we're not aligned, because it's okay for you to want what you want.
100% on both sides. It's okay to want what you want.
Right.
So then she starts crying and says, I have other children. I put them up for adoption. Please don't judge me, she says. Because he's like, oh. Now, that wasn't a judgment. That was her own guilt and not having dealt with it yet coming out. Because what he says, okay, and then she says, you know, this is my baggage that I have. And then he says, you know, don't say that. Don't call it baggage. It's your past. We all have a past, and it's not a big deal to me. I'm happy you told me your story, but we all have a past. So I don't focus on the past, he says. I concentrate on the future. Bravo for that. Bravo for that, because what I was seeing was that you were already trying to make this situation that you feel bad about worse, and you thought you were going to be condemned. And that shows me that you have never been in a healthy relationship where you can communicate and share your feelings and express who you are and express vulnerability. You've never had that. You're coming in with shame and judgment,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
putting all of that heavy energy into this conversation,
Mhm.
expecting a bad scenario. So you're already preempting being judged when no one's judging you. So
Right.
that's interesting. What was your take on
That's
it?
some, she said something that I want to talk about. I want us to talk about it. She
Okay.
said, I wasn't irresponsible. I was with the same man the whole time. Did that did that sentence strike you in any way?
It go tell me your thoughts because I have some thoughts on it.
My question immediately upon hearing that is, what action is she talking about when she says I wasn't irresponsible? Is she talking about the sex? Is she talking about the fact that they all had the same father? Is she talking about the putting them up for adoption? Like, what is it that she's saying was not irresponsible in that sentence?
She's saying that because all of her babies have the same baby daddy, she's not irresponsible. That's what she's
So
saying.
she's making a judgment against people who have multiple baby daddies and saying that she's not like those girls because all her children she gave up for adoption had the same father. Is she still trying to place herself in some kind of hierarchy of goodness?
It's a good question.
I
That's a good
think she needs to let all that go. Girl, it just is what it is. Don't try to make yourself seem better than somebody else. The decision was what it was. And that's it. Like, you can't save yourself by saying you're better than someone else. I remember when I got pregnant, because I got pregnant before I got married while I was pregnant. I remember my mom telling somebody, well, at least she didn't have an abortion. And I said, Mom, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I have no problem with the person who has an abortion. Don't make there be some kind of hierarchy of sin and goodness. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think that it's important to remember that we're just like Wayne said, we all have past, we all have our own experiences, and no one person is better than the next, right? Everyone has their own stuff. And I do think, though, that that's also a little bit of a generational thing where, like, the stigma of being an unwed mother, the stigma of having a baby, quote unquote, out of wedlock, um, you know, having a child young and then maybe meeting someone else and having another child with a different partner, all of those stigmas from like back in the day. I don't know, like I just think it's like a generational thing. Because I mean, 2026, you look around, you got blended all the types of families. It like Abby said, it is what it is. So I'm wondering if that's part of it, where she's dealing with the shame of her past, plus she hasn't reconciled it with her present. That's how I feel. I feel like she hasn't reconciled it. She's acknowledged it, but she hasn't reconciled it. And I think that this is just my personal opinion. The journey for her reconcile is going to be longer, because back to the point that I was making when earlier, when she says that she put these two kids up for adoption, and then one's named Larry, and he found me through DNA, and then she said, then I had a daughter after that, and that's all she said. Now, again, had he not found you, would you then be in their lives? Would this be part of your life?
No, it wouldn't be. Because
And that,
all these years have passed and she never even reached back out to the adoption agency, not once.
right, so that's why I'm saying her road to reconciling her shame is going to be a little bit longer because, and this is why she's still defensive. It's all connected. So when she gets defensive with Jamal for bringing it up, because Jamal has accepted it, he's reconciled that he has siblings. She hasn't reconciled that these children of hers are now in her life. She's happy about it, but her mind hasn't reconciled. And that's why she's defensive. That's why she feels shame. That's why she's crying. That's why she doesn't want to talk about it in public, which is what I was telling you, the missed opportunity at the pub. She'd rather take it private because that shame is still there. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. It's the kind of thing that I actually like as she moves along in her journey and gets more comfortable. I'd love if she ever did like a deep dive or reflecting on some of the statements that she's made, because this statement in particular was just really fascinating to me. Growing up in a purity culture environment, you are told that, you know, this thing is so important, this virginity is so important, and that your sexuality belongs to Christ. It belongs to the man that you married. Like, it never belongs to you, right? And so just thinking about all of that, and then for her to say I wasn't irresponsible, is quite interesting to me, because I will tell you, I was irresponsible. I was irresponsible a lot. And what's wrong with saying that?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I think that it's a generational thing. And I think that, you know, she wanted to make the point that, you know, that was her husband and it was not out of wedlock. It was the same father, like that. I think it's just a conditioning and a generational thing.
Okay.
So the other thing that was interesting to me is that she said, so they've established that they're not on the same page. He wants to go with the flow. She wants a relationship. At least that's what I took out of what this conversation was about.
Mm-hmm.
So she also says that this trip is not a trip for intimacy, but she's going to be back in a few months and that trip will be about intimacy. Cool. Fine.
Why, Kim? Why? The man just told you what he's after, and she's still having trouble. I feel like until she goes on this journey of working out all of her feelings with regards to giving up these kids for adoption, that she's never going to successfully raise her own self-esteem as such that she could be in a good, healthy relationship.
Okay, yeah. I think this is a good first step for her though, because she's starting to see what she likes and what a good relationship can look like. I think that, again, it's going to be a journey for her. But here's where I got confused. So it's the next day. She's leaving for America. And she tells us that Wayne texted her something in the morning. He's going to come see her off. #girlfriend. And I was like, what? What's happening? Did you all have, okay. And so she is excited because the two things that she really wanted to have happen on this trip was she wanted to be in a healthy relationship and she wanted Wayne to accept her past. And both of those things happen. So he comes into the room as she's packing. They cuddle. And now they're officially in a relationship. And here's where I was like, Abby, what did I, so the #girlfriend was the official talk that moved you through. Cause like yesterday you said you were not ready. And I'm trying to tell you all that believe men when they say what they say in the moment. So then he said that he needed to percolate on it a little bit. And in the morning, he realized that he did want her as a girlfriend. Does that happen? Because I'm just.
And that's sufficient? That's not sufficient. I've seen 12 and 13-year-old boys have a better girlfriend proposal than that.
I'm just confused. You all explain it to me. If I'm ready for a relationship, I'm ready for a relationship. If I'm not ready for a relationship, I'm not ready for a relationship. And I'm not going to go to bed and wake up and be like, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm ready for a relationship today.
I don't trust it.
I don't either. And I actually agree with Cherokee Cindy. I think he likes her as a person, as enjoying her company, but I don't know, because when they were doing this cuddling, it was awkward on the bed and like I did they even kiss? I don't even remember if they kissed, but there was like some kissing on the cheek, but like
They definitely kissed when they were going towards the van.
Yeah, but not in the
But
bed.
I don't remember any kissing while they were cuddling. I could have missed it, but I don't remember any.
No, I don't think it happened. But yes, the way to the van, they had some pictures and some pecs. So we'll see. I mean, she seems happy. He seems happy, going at a slower pace. And maybe that's what that looks like. What else do you want to add to Kim?
That's it for me, for my thoughts on Kim. Hey, Silver Linings.
Hey, girl. Hey. All right. Since it's in front of me and I can get rid of this, I want to talk about Vanya and Tony next.
Yes. I have feelings here too, but not about Vanya and Tony. I have feelings about Vanya and Tony's parents.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, his parents are very religious Christians, and they want his partner to be as well. Vanya explains, as she's explained before, but I appreciate them rehashing it for us, that because she comes from an area that was war-torn over religion, we're letting her define what that war was about. We're not going to argue with her about it. That she does not have any strong affiliation with any religion, and she prefers not to participate in organized religious activities. I personally think, just scooting all the way to the end, there were some questions that the mom specifically asked her, and she said, no, I'm not interested in going to your church. I'm not interested in being a part of a church. And then mom says at the end, I'll pray for you. To me, when a Christian person says, I'll pray for you after we've already had a conversation about how I'm not religious, that's passive aggressive.
I don't see it that way at all. But I understand what you're saying.
Oops. If I'm telling you that I'm not religious and I don't want to be a part of your church, and you say I'm going to pray, you're saying that you're going to pray that I feel differently, that you're discounting whatever happened to me to bring me to this place, and to know in myself that I'm rejecting that religion, that you're going to pray that my mind changes. If you want to do that, do it to yourself. You don't need to tell me that.
I'm going to respectfully disagree, but I don't want to have this conversation quite yet because I want to get to that part. But I understand what you're saying, and I see your side of it. I just don't agree with it.
Because I wouldn't say to you or anybody else, if I'm having a conversation about how I'm not religious, I wouldn't say to the other person, well, I hope you come out of that psychosis.
But I think you're equating someone saying I'll pray for you as a passive, derogatory, disrespectful saying to someone who is non-religious. That's how you're taking that, right?
In that context only. In the context of, we're having a conversation where you're inviting me to your church and asking me what religion I have, and I'm saying I don't have one and I don't want to come to your church. In that context, if you then say, well, I'll be praying for you, that is you discrediting what I just said to you. Now, in the context of what happens sometimes is that if I'm talking about something that was difficult, the most common thing is if I'm talking about how my father passed away, then people will say, oh, I'll be praying for you. In that context, I don't think that somebody's saying that to be offensive, because they're just assuming that I'm Christian and that's their way of offering a condolence. But in the conversation where Vanya is saying, I am not interested in being part of your religion, my answer is always going to be no. You're saying, when you say, I will pray for you, that I am discounting what brought you to that place to say that.
I just don't agree with you. I think that I just don't agree with you. That's it. I didn't take it that way at all. But again, as a Christian myself, maybe I'm not seeing what you're saying. But if I'm saying to someone, I'll pray for you, even if you're not a non-believer, I'll respect the fact that you're a non-believer, but I'm still a believer, and a form of love is saying, I'll pray for you. It's not a form of like degradation, passive aggressive, I'm trying to change your ways. That's not how.
Well, what are you praying will happen? Like, if you say that in this exact conversation, not any other type of conversation, but in this conversation where Vanya's saying, I don't want to come to your church.
But she's
what
not
is the purpose?
She's not. Vanya said, okay, so let's just get through this part and then can we circle back to this?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vanya is with Tony's parents, and the mom has asked, would you like to come to church with us? Please hold. I just want to make sure that I'm doing the first thing. Yeah, I jumped way ahead.
I mean, yeah, there's some other stuff that happens between them before the parents come over, but it's kind of, it's mostly about them finally having sex.
Yeah. So I'll go quick, but because it is kind of, to me, it's part of 15 that we totally skipped over because I don't know why. I think my notes wrong. So we're gonna rewind a little bit, you guys. Vanya is being picked up at the airport, and her and Tony haven't seen each other for about 3 weeks. And they make it like a crazy, weird meet cute, like they hadn't seen each other in a year. She runs up to him, runs into his arm. Oh, baby, I love you, I love you. They kiss. It was an awkward kiss as far as I was concerned. She's all happy and in her romance Harlequin novel because Tony has apologized from his baby tantrums that he was having in the last few episodes. And said that he was out of line, he was emotional, and it was all because he missed her, and he missed her so much. But now things are great. He says, I'm lucky to be with you, I'm blessed to be with you, and I'm so happy you're back, and we can never be apart like that again. But she's like, well, we should be able to live our own lives. And there should be trust and there should be communication. And you know what? I'm going to still do what I'm going to do. So if there's a week or a 2 week, like you need to be able to stand up on your own 2 feet. That's her take on it. But she really cares for him. She feels safe. She feels comfortable. We've heard those words before from Kimberly as well. She loves him so much. And she wants to take this relationship to the next level, right? And what does she say she is? She says she is celibate. No, she says she's celibate. Yeah, but she's just abstaining.
Yeah, she keeps using the word celibate wrong, but we're just gotta roll with it because she's not gonna stop.
Yeah. So, but she loves him. They're boyfriend, girlfriend now. She's missed him. So she says, let's take this to the bedroom. And she's worried because what if they're not compatible? And, I tell you guys, sex is important. I don't care what y'all are talking about. I'm going to let you know that I agree with that statement. You need to be compatible. You need to be compatible. Look at Colt and Courtney. It will not work. It will not work if you're not compatible in that department. Period. Full stop. So, they go. Now, this is the part that I know, Abby, you and I will agree on. Okay. First of all, As people who travel a lot, and am going to speak for Abby as well. For people who travel a lot, I'm going to tell you something. There are two things we're not about to do. Okay. We're not about to fly halfway across the world and come home in our dirty travel airport clothes. And you guys are wondering why there are all these diseases floating in the air. We are not about to come home with those same dirty clothes on and put those same dirty clothes in or on our bed.
No. I circled it. I was like, Linda's going to hate this.
It's the first thing we're not going to do. The second thing that I personally am not going to do is I'm not about to have traveled from Ibiza to America and not shower. The third thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to touch up my makeup and not shower and be filthy and have sex for the first time with this dude. What is wrong with y'all?
I was like, oh, this is disgusting to me, but maybe he likes it tart.
Y'all are nasty and I can't handle it. I absolutely not. So with that being said, they got jiggy with it, and that's all I'm going to say about it because I was shocked and appalled. You're touching up your makeup and you're not showering?
Okay.
I'm sorry, my note just is like...
I know you were appalled. And then, like, not only did he get on the bed, but he was in multiple different positions on, like, you're just spreading the germs all across the bedsheet. In my head, the germs, the bacteria is just running wild.
Me too. Yuck. Yuck. Yuck.
Hantavirus everywhere.
All right, so that happens. So next day, they're meeting Tony's parents for the first time. She's super excited about it. She brought flowers and cupcakes. Now, what I had forgotten was that she's a baker. So I thought she was faking the funk because I forgot she's a baker. So I guess she did bake those cupcakes, but I forgot. So I was talking a little bit of shit in my mind because I was like, is she okay? So she goes to the house. Tony says, my parents are going to want to have some conversations. And, one of them is going to be religion because religion is important to his mom. Vanya explains that she is a religious war survivor from the old Yugoslavia. Because of that and the trauma she has from that, and how the countries, that country got broken up into separate countries because of this war. She just doesn't want any part of it. Then Rainey and Varky arrive. That's Tony's parents. And their interaction at the door told me a lot about their relationship. There was like a formal greeting, like you were greeting your guests. There was no hugging, no kissing, no type of, I don't know what y'all do, but like we embrace up in our family, and it's just interesting to me to see how that is for him, because it also explains a little bit about his personality to me.
Right. It was so sterile.
So sterile. And then the parents explained how they met. They had an arranged marriage. They met 3 or 4 times before they actually got married. But they've been married. And I love this because this is so man. He's like, what? We've been married, 40, 50 years? Like, we've been married 45 years on October 15th. That's so 40, 50 years. All right. It's gonna take 5 years. And they want the same long, happy marriage for their son, happy life and a peaceful life. Okay, so I'm going to skip the part where I was talking shit about Vanya passing off the cupcakes because, again, I forgot that she's a baker. And so Tony says, this is Vanya, she's a vegan baker, she's in medical sales, and she's a dancer. And the mom is like, what she's looking for to camera for her son is someone who's religious, hardworking, and loving. The dad turns to Vanya and says, what kind of dancing do you do? And looking at her side eyes. And she explains she does all types of dancing. And then we find out the mom is a dancer and they bond over dancing. And the mom's like, hey, we could actually, we could go dancing together. And I looked at the dad like, that part. What you're not do is judge her or think she's doing some scandalous business when your wife likes to do the same type of dancing that she does. Hello. We hear again for like the third time that his parents are active in their church, and they ask Vanya, is she, active in any type of religion? And she says no. She was not raised in a religious household. And then this is where the mom's like, do you want to come and see what we do? And then Vanya's like, no, I prefer to stay away. And then the mom's like, oh. And she's just like, Vanya's like, church is not something I enjoy. And that's never going to change. Like, that's just not anything that I want to do. And the dad says, we have a strong relationship with God. And we think like, hey, association with something. And she's like, no. I explains again, Yugoslavia, the Bosnian, and broken up, and the religious war. She explains that whole thing again. And so they kind of change the topic. They talk about like English as a second language. And she explains that she spoke Croatian, and she had to learn English, and she came over and she had to teach her siblings and all of that. And at the end of the day, they think she's nice and professional, a sweet lady, a hardworking lady, but maybe not right for their son. Now, here is the part that I had concerns. And my concerns are this. And I said it in the top, and I say it in the Linda's 5 things. First of all, if religion is that important to you, then you need to date someone who is religious, if that is a key factor. The problem I was having here was, why are we only asking Vanya? What's Tony's religious intake? Because we know that the parents are religious, but what about Tony? Is Tony just as religious? Because he was neutral. We didn't hear a peep. Does he go to church every Sunday? Is he a practicing Catholic? Or is it only on the woman to be the religious one and he can just do whatever he wants? I needed to know, because that was going to shape everything that I was thinking. Because from the looks of it, I don't think he's overly religious. I don't think he is a devout Christian like his parents. I just don't see it. And if he is, he should have said that this is important to me. He didn't say it was important to him. He said it was important to his parents, which would make no sense to me. So you want your partner to be deeply religious for your parents and not for yourself? Because like I said, with the 5 things that you guys need to talk about before you get in a serious relationship, you should have had the discussion about religion with Tony. And if that's not important to him and it's not important to you, then you guys can move forward. And this is a non-starter. This is a conversation that no one has to delve into.
Right. Olivia, we were talking about you earlier.
Hey girl, hey. So that's where that's what I think. I think that you're grilling Vanya, but we don't even know where Tony stands. So if it's a non-starter, then it's a non-starter. But then Tony says, oh, I think my parents approve, because more than religion, they just want someone that loves me, and it looks like you love me. So I think that they're going to approve. And I was like, I don't think that that's how it works.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, we're seeing a huge disconnect between Tony and his parents. It looks like they don't really have a very good relationship, because he didn't pick up on their body language, that they were not so enamored with Vanya. And I also think that if he had a better relationship with them, he would have told them before they came in, she's not religious. Don't ask her about that. Just don't even go down that road.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, this would have been a non-starter. Yeah. First of all, if Tony and Vanya had the conversation, and if it's not important to Tony, then why are we all addressing this? Like, I don't understand it. But here we are. So I thought this was shady, and I would be upset. So Tony, the parents leave, and Tony presents Vanya with a box. Now, Tony, you're a woman. You know that any little small box, she's already there. I mean, you were in a relationship that you said you didn't want to be in, and all of a sudden now you're in a relationship. So you know that she wants to be married. She wants to be a wife. Period. Full stop. I'm in the bushes. So presenting her with this small box that's a ring box, Abby, and she thinks that she is being proposed to. And when she flips it open, it's a key to his house. Not what she was thinking.
I know. Like, come on, guys. You got to do better than that. I'll be right back. I'm grabbing my charger.
So he wants her to move in, and she thought it was a ring. And she literally says, I'm not looking for a roommate. I want a husband. But she's still going to move in. Right. I didn't, like, what? This is what I don't, like, am I the crazy one? If you're the standard, you're saying you're quote unquote celibate, you're actually abstaining, but you're celibate. Now, all of a sudden, your standard has changed. Now, because he gave you a key and not a ring, you're still going to move in. I don't understand, you guys. I don't understand it.
The desperation for a man will have you accepting crumbs.
No crumbs. Listen, if he wanted to, he would. Period. Men are so simple. If he wanted to, he would. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Now, the other part that I noticed, Abby, she keeps telling him, I love you, I love you, I love you. She keeps kissing on him, and he never says it back.
Yeah. He's not affectionate.
With his words or his actions. But then that's why I said, when his parents came, I was like, oh, this explains a lot, because they're not affectionate towards him either. It's just a bunch of like, I find it wild. Because my note says, she keeps saying, I love you. He says nothing. She keeps kissing him. She, and he's just the recipient of it all. And I heard this before, and I know Abby has said it on the show as well. But, sometimes you're the sparkle in the relationship, and you can walk away with your sparkle and it will still be there. You think it's because you're in a relationship, but really it's just you and your sparkle. Mm-hmm. So the words that Vanya uses is that he changed his mind. Instead of moving into his house, he wants to buy a house together. And she feels like, oh, that's a big step to take, tying your finances, which it is, if there's no engagement. But she still goes. Like, what? Y'all are wild. What's the saying? And I know I'm going to get it right. I'm going to get this saying right. If you stand for nothing, you fall for everything.
Yeah.
So if she keeps saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, but then does something opposite,
that's what she's going to get. I feel sorry for Vanya. I feel sorry for every woman who wants really badly just to be in a reciprocal relationship, because they put you through the ringer trying to get it. For those women who are actively seeking it, I feel so bad for you. I really, really, really do. Because the things that they put you through just because they know that you want it, ridiculous.
Olivia says, I wish Vanya would move on. Time is money and Tony isn't it. Facts.
He
So,
isn't it. They don't even look to. Oh, this is so vain, but they don't even look good together.
no, it just, and you guys, him and his t-shirts, those t-shirts drive me crazy.
You just,
They're
well, you think he's sloppy in general, so.
he's so sloppy. And I'm I'm accepting physician's assistant and only that. I don't believe anything else. Okay. And you know what? There's a whole controversy with that doctor who's can't find her credentials or doesn't want to show her credentials, whatever it
Oh,
is.
yes.
And so everyone can say that they're a doctor and she, what she's saying is not true, by the way. I just want you guys to know that. Those words that came out of her mouth those are untruth. But however, my thought is this, okay? If you're going to say you're a doctor and people are going to accept it, know that you could be dragged anytime, but don't just drag her. You guys know that Dr. Phil is not a doctor either, right? And you guys took advice from him for years. And I don't know any of you that dragged Dr. Phil. So if people are just throwing out that they're doctors and you're going to accept it, and they, her medium is social media and Dr. Phil was on TV, I'm just like, let's not be hypocrites. If we're going to be dragging people for being falsers, then drag equally.
Listen, I only joined Twitter because I wanted to harass Ayanna Van Zandt. Okay. She's not a trained therapist of any kind. She just be having people on TV doing all kind of dumb stuff. Okay. She's coming back out with a new show, so I'm gonna have to re-up my X account.
Oh Lord. Not fighting with Ivana. I like her. Oh Lord.
Some of the stuff that she does on that show is just made up as time goes on. There is nothing therapeutic about it. Is she great TV? Absolutely. Is she a therapist? Absolutely not.
But does she claim to be a therapist?
I think that she claims to be like a life coach now. Before she was saying the word that she was offering therapy. I think now she says life coach.
That's off track, but I just don't believe he's a doctor, Tony. That's why. And so between the sloppiness, you know what it is? It's a slippery slope between Tony and Colt. That's how I feel. It's a slippery slope. It's slippery.
They're both king babies.
That part is and the sloppiness of it all. Like, you say you're a doctor. Just this one just has a fancy car that, by the way, sometimes it's fancy and sometimes it's not. And maybe he has multiple cars, but like, I just don't believe it, you guys.
Yeah. Well, before we leave Vanya, I just want to shout out the immigrant children one time, because whenever Vanya talks about her experience growing up and coming to the United States, because I don't know if you remember, a lot of people think that she's the foreigner that was on the show. She wasn't. She's the American citizen. But she came to the United States as a refugee when she was a young child. And she was not only learning English herself, she was translating for her parents and helping raise her younger siblings, and still trying to find her way through school and everything for herself too. So shout out to all the immigrant children who are making it happen against their will a lot of times, but they're making it happen.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. So they go house hunting. House is spacious, full of light, on the beach. But she just feels weird that he's, quote, just her boyfriend. She feels like fiancés and wives only buy houses. And he sees it as, I want to buy a house so that I can save time on my commute and spend more time together.
One time, I set my dating location nearby where my job was. And I specifically told this guy that I was talking to, I want to fast track this relationship so I don't have to drive all the way back to my apartment every single night. And I can have like 2 or 3 nights that I don't have to like go all the way back to Alexandria from Herndon. And he was like, that's not romantic at all.
That is diabolical.
That's Tony right now.
She freaks out. She is not into buying a house if she's not engaged. He, again, when they tell you who they are, believe them. He literally said, it has to happen on my time. I'm not comfortable. I have to be comfortable. I'm not ready. I need more time. Listen, I spent friggin' 14 hours with y'all. He said this from day one at the circus carnival. He didn't want to be with you. He wasn't ready. What am I missing? Because now when you're like, you thought you were going to get a proposal. You thought a proposal was right around the corner and you want a husband. So now you're realizing you're going to have to move on. I could have told you that 12 episodes ago when he has been hanging out with you for 2 years and you guys are just friends, and then you forced a relationship on him and he said, no, I don't want to be in a relationship. And then you said, yes, I do, because you kissed me that one time. Oh no, he didn't kiss you. You kissed him. Again, you made the move. So then he's like, I guess so. The next day, don't know what changed, but nothing really changed. Guess what? He got to sleep with you. And so he didn't give a F what you do now. Period. Full stop. And he literally said buying a house was just to pacify and hold you off and distract you from wanting to get married. But meanwhile, he just wanted the house on the beach because it's a closer commute for him.
Right. He wants to add some property to his portfolio.
Y'all just listen to them. I don't understand. And so now you're going to be all in your feelings and hurt. But he told you from day one that he didn't want to be with you. Oh, I missed that part, but that's okay. Oh, and I did this one already too. We covered Courtney. There's nothing in my notes real here. Yeah, no, we covered this too. We are gonna move on to, who do I want to do first? I want to do
Gino or Pedro.
Let's do Gino to get him out of the way.
Okay.
Oh, I just have one. I must really not be feeling Gino at all.
I mean, it was only his visit to the divorce attorney and the crystal shop and his date with, it wasn't very much happening.
All right, so didn't work out with Natalie, but he is not giving up on love. Now, they tricked me too, because I thought he was going to, he shows up at this tarot spot saying he had an important thing to do. And I thought of you, Abby, because I thought this whole situation was different. So he walks into this tarot place and the girl says, hey, I looked at you and your aura looks like you need renewal and a fresh start and good luck, and put some stones in his hand. And he's looking at the stones and she's asking, like, which is going to be heavier, which is not going to be heavier, which one is speaking to you, which one is not speaking to you. And then I thought he was soaking it all in. I thought he was about to get a reading. But no, he's like, am I in the right place? I'm here to see my lawyer. And I was like, wait a minute. What's happening here?
You'll be surprised how many lawyers are on that stuff.
I'm going to say some things right now. Okay, so Thomas appears out of nowhere, and Thomas looked like a wizard to me. I was so confused, but
He arrived from his Dungeons and Dragons game.
he did, you guys, and I thought to myself, I'm sorry. I just have to say it. I'm trying not to. No, I won't say. I thought to myself, I've never seen anything like this, and I don't know if anyone that I know has seen anything like this. So
The closest thing I've seen to this is there are some attorneys who operate in the back of barbershops. Like they'll rent, you know how barbers will sometimes just like rent space in a building, and
Yep.
they have different, so like there'll be a bunch of barbers in a space, and then they'll rent the office like in the back of the space because it's cheap, low overhead. I tried to convince my sister that we should do the same thing. My sister has a bunch of beauty salons, and I was like, we have a salon with me in the back, and she was like, no.
yeah, no. That's how I felt in there. Like I I couldn't take it seriously, guys. Like I would have turned around and said, absolutely not. Like absolutely not. So Thomas, we learned Harvard credentials, and he's the owner of this crystal tarot shop. And when he said he said not that he didn't give the Gino gave those credentials about Harvard and all of that. Thomas introduced himself as a spiritual explorer. So some days he does hypnosis, he does Reiki, he does yoga, he does meditation. He has done it all. He said that's his job as a spiritual explorer. And oh, by the way, he's also an attorney.
And sometimes he takes a sugar cube and drops some liquid on it and puts it under his tongue.
And then I'm sorry, you guys. I can't. And I'm sure I'm reading your comments, and I'm sure he's very good, and I'm sure I'm not looking him up because I just couldn't do it. There's someone for everyone, they say. But Abby, when he opened that black dungeon door, the hidden compartment to his office, I said, "Where are you guys going? I'm not about to go into any side, back, heavy dungeon door."
That's why I've never been to a speakeasy. You're not going to catch me going through no trap doors and then I end up in a cult. No, thank you. I'm not going to no storefront church. I'm not going to no I'm not going to no hidden walls. I'm not going through no trap doors. I don't want to be in on your little secret. I don't care about your little secret.
And then the walls were purple. I just said, go ahead and pull out your wand. Let's just call it, wrap it up, Thomas. Just wrap it up. I cannot. But, this is just so much. So Gino's ready to finally get divorced. And I do want to talk about this with you, Abby. So he's ready to get divorced. Thomas is telling him that this is going to be a very complex divorce. And I mean, we already knew that because it's contentious as is. But Gino asks, and Abby and I have talked about this a lot. So it is the law that, if you have a child with someone else and you are still married, the person that you're married to is legally bound to child support.
Yes.
That's how it is. So Gino asked
that is any child born in a marriage is that the father, the husband is presumed to be the father of that child legally. Yep.
That part.
And if you guys remember, if you like pop culture, that Kim Kardashian was pregnant with North while she was trying to get divorced from Chris Humphries. That's why she was trying so hard to get divorced from Chris Humphries before North was born.
There it is. So Thomas has a game plan. So Thomas says, here are the issues that we are going to have to address. For the child, you're going to have to take a paternity test. And the sooner the better. The sooner the better. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to get. You need to take a paternity test to prove that that child's not yours. Any debt that she incurs now, technically, half of that debt is yours because you guys are still legally married. So if she goes out and buys, a $200,000 car, potentially half that debt when you're separating, she's incurred it while you were married. So half of that debt is going to be yours. Right? And on and on and on. So here's where it gets complex. Not only is it the paternity, it's debt and future debt while you're still married. It's the 2 states. So she's in Florida and you're in Michigan. It's the child of the wedlock. It's the immigration and then any assets that you guys shared. So all of those things are going to make this potentially a contentious and painful divorce. What are your thoughts on the legalities of it all?
I agree with everything that he said. And honestly, he probably said this too, but it just wasn't, a part of what they chose to air. But the caveat that I would make on the debt issue is that typically courts will acknowledge when there's a separation in a marriage. So the parties can contest exactly which date it is, but they can have a separation date. And then after that date of separation, debt incurred stays with the party that incurred the debt. It doesn't, count as marital property. And because she's gone to Florida, they would have some concrete evidence that she left and went to Florida on a certain date. And after that date, that's when the separation begins, if not earlier than that. So he probably did explain that at some point, but they just, didn't keep it in.
So their game plan is Thomas wants to file a complaint immediately and serve Jasmine from Michigan immediately. Now, he said that, because they're 2 separate states, there's some Florida laws that he's going to have to look up. And then Gino, being the dramatic self, he said, well, I am ready to fight. And this is the biggest mistake of my life. Gino, you know what? Let's not talk about how we got here.
Right.
Okay. Let's not talk about how we got here. So own your part, Gino. Own your part.
This is on you, Gino.
Yeah. So again, the Gino situation. He's got a date, you guys. He's looking for love. He bought this pheromone spray that is supposed to attract women. And he's back to online dating because Gino doesn't talk to women or approach women in real life. He only does it online. And he's now met a girl named Lexi. And she's 30, he's 56. They go wine tasting. Lexi allegedly likes him, likes his sense of humor, thinks they have good conversation. They get in, and it was the funniest thing to me because Lexi got ID'd and looked like, is this your dad? And guess what? Gino is actually older than her dad. So there's a 26-year age difference. It's not an issue for her, but she thinks it will be an issue for her family, which I thought was telling as well, right? Because that's part of it, right? When you are in a relationship, you're in a relationship with that person and their family. So she's not sure what her dad is going to think about it. We also find out that she's a single mom of 4. And here is where...
Wait, she's a single mom of 4 kids or a 4-year-old?
A 4-year-old. My bad.
Okay, I was like, oh, I think I heard that wrong. Okay.
No, I said it wrong. You're right. She
Okay.
is a single mom of a 4-year-old daughter. And Gino already wants to meet the daughter. Absolutely not. I was looking at him like, absolutely not.
Weirdo.
No, we're not about to do that. And
honestly, like somebody asked me to meet your kid that fast, your 4-year-old child, I need y'all to be wary of that.
Right. And they're an old, weird man. Yeah. I want to be extremely weary about it because yeah. P's and Q's, y'all. P's and Q's. That didn't even make sense. What I was trying to say is that you need to be on point with it.
Oh, I thought you were saying be on your P's and Q's. I got it.
Oh, is that what the saying is?
I mean, yeah, you can say it like that. Be on your P's and Q's, like be on alerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Lexi asked Gino if he was an animal, what type of animal would he be? Abby, what type of animal would Gino be?
Sloth. Don't even think about it.
Chat, if you had to say Gino is some type of animal, what type of animal would you say he is? Lexi said a platypus. I died of laughter because that's also accurate. When Gino said that he sees himself as a cheetah, I fell all the way. You see yourself as a cheetah? Even Lexi, who just met you, was laughing and thought you were delusional. And she said, that does not make sense.
No, I just know he sits at home making AI versions of himself.
A cheetah, give me a break.
That's crazy, sir. He does not have realistic. Some people have dysmorphia, like they see themselves as worse than they really are. He has the opposite of that.
He really does. And I'm going to need you to go and figure out whatever that thing with your hat is, because you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to deal with whatever that is for you. He wants to go on more dates. He's hopeful about Lexi. He also literally is like happy to be dating younger because then he can still have a kid. Those words came out of his mouth, you guys. And he's hopeful for the future.
I was going to rag on Gino a little bit more. He said he's happy to be dating younger so he can have a kid naturally. Sir, you have old sperm. It ages too. It gets defects too. It has deficiencies too.
Yep.
Anyway.
And you don't even know who you are. So you're gonna raise this so-called kid of yours with the hat and your insecurities? Or are you gonna perpetuate that, or are you gonna go work on yourself first so that you can become whole before you bring a life into the world? Like I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. Like whenever he says, I want to be a father, you know what I want to ask him? I want to say, what do you do in your community right now to support the kids who are already out there? Where do you volunteer? What amount of time do you spend with your nieces and nephews and little cousins? When's the last time that you taught a child how to ride a bike or taught a child how to tie their shoe? Have you ever in your life changed a diaper? I get tired of hearing men say, I want to be a father when they've taken no actions to know what it takes to be a father. They've taken no classes, they've read no books, they've done nothing hands-on. It's just, I want to be a father as an abstract thought, and that's as far as they go with it.
100% agree with you. 1000%. All right, we are moving on to Sophie, Pedro, Liz, Via, and Julia, all of them. Where do I want to go with this first? Okay, let's go here. It's the last day in the DR for the girls, and they're gonna go to a pool party at the resort. Pedro has been ignoring. Have I missed? Okay.
So the first thing I have
Yeah,
is
missed
Pedro
it.
showing her how to open a coconut.
Yeah, I missed
You
this.
have that?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, here we go. So Sophie's in her room. She it's the next day after the date with Brian. Brian texts her, nice to meet you, bye. Because, you know, he was trying to hook up and they didn't hook up. So he's keeping it pushing. And she feels like she needs more than just a good body. And now this is where I just feel like she's a little bit toxic because she is wishy-washy with what she wants. And because she's wishy-washy with what she wants, everyone's confused and everyone's upset. Because now she says she misses Pedro and she has a connection with Pedro, but also she's not ready to be in a relationship, but she still wants to be with Pedro. And so she asked Pedro to meet him at the beach, and he is going to meet her at the beach. And he also says, you know what, though? I know that her date was awful, and that's why she is texting me. Like, he literally just said that. So she gets to the beach. He's there. He has a machete and coconuts, and he's going to teach her how to crack open a coconut. He's like, it's time for you to learn how to crack open a coconut. I love that. I thought that was like, I love that. I love things like that. And it took her a minute, but he was helping her, showing her how to do it, and she was able to crack it open. So fresh coconut juice on the beaches of the Dominican Republic. How amazing is that? But we're going to have a conversation. We're not going to enjoy the beach on one of our last day and just relax and kick it and everyone have a good time. No, we're going to sit down and have a conversation because everything has to be a conversation. So Pedro, proud of him for using his words, though, starts off okay. He says, you know, I want to spend more time with you. I want to be with you. And he's been saying that from the beginning. So I'm not sure where the confusion is. I'm not sure why we have to continue to have the same conversations over and over again. But yes, here we are. He asks her, how was your date? Did you kiss him? Instead of just answering directly, and I need you guys to just answer directly, own up to the things that you do. And if you own up and are direct with it, then I don't see what the problem is. But no, she's like, why? Why? Why do you want to know? And that was exactly the wrong thing to say, because he answers for her and says, oh, you kissed him. And then he crashes out, you guys. He crashes all the way out. He's like, you came to my country, you went on one date with some random dude and you kissed that random dude on the first date. Meanwhile, I've been courting you for 5 months. I've taken you on multiple trips. I've bought you a $2,000 necklace. I've made my intention specific, saying I want to be with you. I want to be exclusive with you. I want to date you. I introduced you to my family, and I just got a kiss on this trip. He goes on to say, I wanted to love you. I wanted to protect you. I wanted to help you. I wanted to be there for you. And you are not seeing any value that I bring to the table. So he's pissed. And she says, well, I just want to be single. I need time to heal. Well, he said, so you need time to heal and you want to do what you want? I'm not going to wait. Bye. Mm-hmm. He gets up and leaves. And he is pissed. He's like, I can't believe she went on another date with another guy in my country. And she's confused because she thinks that he is acting like she cheated, and she starts crying. You know how much that pissed me off? Stop playing games. Okay? Stop playing games and you wouldn't be in these situations. Stop playing and you know what? You guys are going to F around and find out from the wrong person when you're playing these stupid games. You got to stop it. If you don't want to be with someone, then don't be with them. If you want to be with multiple people, be with multiple people, but just keep it pushing. Don't get all like someone's telling you they want to be exclusive and you keep dating them and they think you're moving to exclusivity and that's not your intention. That's confusing. Don't be, hey, I don't want to be with you, but then I want to be with you. I don't want to talk to you, but now I want to talk to you.
Right. It's like Sophie only goes after him when he is upset with her. Like she wants to play this chase game. And when he's nice to her and planning things for her, she doesn't want it. She rejects it.
That's right.
At the moment he might be slipping away, she's texting him incessantly. I wanted you to talk to me and you're being childish and all this stuff. It's really just, I don't agree with the way that Pedro acts in some cases, but the majority of what's happening here is Sophie's fault.
I 100% agree with you. 100%. So, oh man, we are 2 hours. Okay. Last day in the DR, they're going to a pool party and it's all the girls. They invited Pedro. Pedro's been ignoring Sophie's texts. She is stressed out about it because she doesn't know what's going on. And then now she's trying to flip it and say that he ghosted her.
That is not what happened at all.
He literally said,
that's not what happened here. And it's also not what happened the last time that he wasn't speaking to her. It's not what happened at all. And her interpretation of it is loony.
It's a lunatic. It's outrageous. It's absurd. All of those things. You're not about to play the victim and flip it on Pedro because, you know, he told you exactly what it is. He said, you don't want to be in a relationship? Fine. I want a relationship, so I'm not going to wait. What part of that is him ghosting you? Because just like Abby said, every time he leaves, then you miss him. Every time he's mad, then you want to be with him. Stupid games, stupid prizes.
Right.
Meanwhile, Liz, you guys are stressing me out. Liz has feelings for 2 guys. So she's telling the girls the update on that. And Julia, thank God for Julia, because she really is the comedic relief. She's like, well, you know, I know a few friends who have open marriages. They get to the pool and they're having fun in the pool and the foam and the whole thing. Via arrives and Sophie's looking around for Pedro and nowhere to be found. So she asks him if he's coming. Via is looking, crickets. They all ask, Julia asked, they all ask, is Pedro coming? And he's not coming. He's done. He's like, he's done. And she's mad that he's done with her. So she's like complaining that he's not coming and not communicating. And if he's done, he should say he's done. And she thinks that he's being spiteful and immature. Again, he told you he was done. He even said, goodbye, Abby. So we're not going to make him the villain in this moment. Pedro can be the villain, don't get me wrong. But in this moment, he's been communicating and expressing to you exactly what he wants, what he's looking for, and what he doesn't want. And so he said he's done. Plain and simple.
Yeah. So leave him alone.
So leave him alone. But she's annoyed because she likes Pedro. And so Julia's like, well, go see, you know, if he called you from his phone. So she goes, he hasn't called. Julia's like, let me see your phone. She calls from Sophie's phone. He doesn't answer. And he's pissed. He's done. And you know how pissed he is, Abby? How pissed is he?
I'm done.
I am done. He's so done that he changed his flight. He was supposed to be leaving the day after, but he is leaving like early in this moment. Packing, you guys, not even packing, just throwing his shit in the bag, zipping it up and bouncing. He didn't say goodbye to anybody, not even his friend Via. Probably said, Via, I'm leaving. Didn't go to the pool, nothing. He literally bounced. And he's like, Sophie keeps messaging me. Are you coming to the pool party? Are you okay? Do you hate me? He literally says, leave me alone. You used me like a paper towel. You wiped your butt and threw me away. His heart is broken. His heart is shattered. But he said, I survived my divorce. So she can go and enjoy her life.
Mm-hmm. Good. If that's the end. Sophie, leave him alone. Y'all both move on. He can move on to somebody who has intentions to move towards exclusivity and seriousness. And you can continue playing with whomever you want to play with.
That part. And the only part that I didn't agree for Pedro in this moment only was when he said that his mom and sister are right, that she's nothing good. I said, those are not reliable sources. We are not going to frickin' frack.
Yeah, they're not reliable sources. They have never said anybody is good.
Because they're not good. I don't even think they would recognize it if they could.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, you don't force me to call you out, Lydia. Okay? Because you know. So what we're not about to do is talk crazy about other women when we know you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Pedro's not going to give up on love. He is giving up on someone who doesn't appreciate him. And so he bounced. One of the things I will say that I didn't like, Abby, is I didn't like how he treated his driver because he was in a bad mood. He was very snippy with the driver. Put it in the back. No, you still are going to use your manners. You're still going to treat people how you want to be treated. Just because you're in a shitty mood, you're not going to take it out on the people that are just doing their jobs. Okay? Can we stop doing that?
Correct. Exactly.
So now Sophie's sad. Pedro's not responding. She doesn't know that he has left the resort. He has left the building. So she's hurt and she's crying. That I just want you to know that's her role. She's now the victim again, when clearly that's not the case.
You're not.
I'm good. That's all I have for Sophie and Pedro. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, no. You didn't miss anything. That's all I have for them too. My last note was she wants Pedro to respond, even if it's just to say that he wants nothing to do with her, but he did that. And she's still insisting upon a response. So clearly that's not in good faith.
That part. Okay. I'm doing a side note, Via. So Via is all sad and he's in his feelings. And before Pedro left, they met up on the beach and he explains to Pedro that he found out that Liz has someone back home and he felt like they had a connection and it felt so good. And he feels sad because of this situation. But then he's thinking twice, thinking but their situation has nothing to do with me. That's a slippery slope, you guys. She's telling you she's got a man, but you're trying to say that you don't mind that has nothing to do with you. It should absolutely have something to do with you, because
Correct.
What if you were the man?
Correct. I don't like when people use that rationale.
Yeah, me neither. So he's sad and in his feelings. And that's all I needed you to know before I got to Liz, because here's what happened. Liz thinks that they had a good trip, but she's ready to go home. So she's packing her bags, and in the midst of packing, Via shows up, and they're calling it, they meaning production. I don't know. It's not me who's calling it, but they're in a love triangle. Okay. Love triangle. And Liz is mad at herself because maybe she's hurting two people. They sit down, and now we're having another conversation. Listen, first of all, before I say this, Abby, I don't understand. You guys were on holiday in the heat in the Dominican Republic at a resort, all inclusive. Does that not just scream fun, good times, excursions, casual sex, and keep it pushing? Is that not what that screams?
I don't understand why it couldn't just be simple. What Lauryn Hill say? It could all be so simple, but we'd rather make it. Yeah, exactly. Like, just anyway, whatever, child.
So she's feeling anxious. He's feeling anxious. Y'all, he's sweating. And when I say he was like pouting, then the conversation, you came into my life unexpected. But she comes to her senses and says, but it's not in the cards for long term because of my sickness, because of the long distance, and it scares her because she doesn't want to, go through this by herself. And she is sorry to him if he feels that she led him on or she hurt him. And again, it's been a week. You know what's going to happen? If you're going to go home and you're going to get in your day-to-day life and you're going to totally forget about that person that you only spent a week with. That's reality. But no, he's hurt. He was worried that things could end this way because she has a guy back home. And when I say, Abby, he was about to cry. Did you notice that? He was about to cry. They're both emotional now. And guess what? They're both crying. My note just says, wow, am I cold? Because I'm looking at them crazy.
We're not cold. They're just doing the most.
And then he thought that they were going to kiss. So they stand up to say goodbye. And he went in for a kiss, but she went in for a hug. And that was super awkward. And she's worried that she just pushed away her forever. What if she made the wrong decision? And then he says that, okay, wait. I'm missing one part because the part that I want to talk about is when he said that he fell in love with her. And I said, fell in love with who? Who did you fall in love with? Oh, I'm missing a part. So I'm going to just try to do it from what I remember. All the girls meet up out front, right? They're all leaving. He helps with the bag. And it was just comedy because here's what happens. Julia's like, oh, look at these lovebirds. And she's like, I learned that in America. And then Liz is like, no, we decided to part ways. And Julia said, part what? Part what? Part ways. Part ways, what is that? I loved it. That was my favorite part of the episode. And then, we find out they're just going to be friends. They hug, and it's a wrap. What did we learn? Liz learned that she just wanted to be friends with this guy. That's what she should have just done. Abby and I told you guys, your vacay bay is vacay bay. Keep them on vacay. There's no need to be all dramatic with it. Sophie needs to know what she wants and stop playing games. And Julia was just the best. She was just fun.
Mm-hmm. Julia was a great choice to bring along.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any additions to that?
That's it. That's all my notes, you guys.
Okay, we're completely caught up. We're going to be ready for the tell-all. The tell-all looks wild, you guys. Now, all these things that we just talked about for the last almost 2.5 hours, throw it out the window. Because did you see the preview?
Yes.
Y'all are crazy. This is why I'm saying it can't be me. I cannot be the crazy one. Courtney, you're breaking up with your sugar daddy for Colt? Is that what I saw in the preview?
I'm hoping that it's like a mislead. Maybe they had a breakup earlier on in the relationship, but we'll find out.
That tell-all, I'm going to tell you guys right now, you all better behave because I will do a TED Talk on the tell-all. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. We will see you very soon. Monday, we're starting the new season of 90 Day Fiancé. And so, toodles. Have a great
Toodaloo.
week. Bye.
Bye-bye. Good night. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.